Hundreds of mainly Israeli demonstrators gather each Friday afternoon in Sheikh Jarrah to protest evictions taking place in the East Jerusalem neighborhood. The demonstrations are part of a growing movement in Israel against the occupation. Another movement that is also gaining support within Israel is one in favor of the Palestinian call for boycott, divestment and sanctions, or BDS. The AIC spoke with Israeli activist Ofer Naiman about what the Boycott from Within campaign is all about.
I mean, it's not about a specific declaration. It's a group of Israeli citizens who support boycott, divestment and sanctions against the Israeli government as a last resort after so many years, decades, in which nothing else has really worked. It's a last resort. If you're an Israeli citizen and you're against the occupation, I think that it's pretty much that the only thing that can work is a combination of activism from within, like Sheikh Jarrah here, and supporting BDS. I mean, the Israeli peace camp, Israeli peace groups are not biggest and strong enough to change reality, to counter the occupation just from within. We need support from the outside. First of all, the fact that you have Israeli citizens saying that we support BDS, it means a lot. I mean, it's a strong statement. And when people, for example, when the lobby like AIPAC, the so-called pro-Israel lobby abroad, accuses BDS activists, non-Jewish BDS activists of being anti-Semitic, then we're here for them. I mean, I can tell the difference between anti-Semitism and activism against the occupation, and it's very important when you have Israeli citizens, and especially Jewish Israeli citizens, speaking out and supporting BDS. I think it's effective. I think that the biggest misconception is based on the myth that it's a personal boycott against any Israeli, which is wrong. It's an institutional boycott. It's not about boycotting individual Israelis. For example, refusing to speak to someone just because he's Israeli, or refusing to rent a room or a flat to someone just because he's Israeli. These are not the guidelines. That's not the BDS policy. It's an institutional boycott, and that's not something that we have to kind of inform the Israeli public about. Some people will say, I mean, look, that's treason, or even people who belong to the peace camp may say it's too extreme, it's going to alienate the Israeli public. And of course, the Israeli public, the majority of the public is not going to like this policy, but the big question is, what else can we do? I mean, what else is going to work? The thing is that so many Israelis are profiting from the occupation. Even Israelis who in principle support human rights and peace, structurally they profit from the occupation. The Israeli high-tech economy, a major portion of it is based on so-called security or the military industry. And when you have normalization in Tel Aviv and Israel in general, many people are enjoying high standards of living like in the West. They have no incentive to change realities. So, I mean, that's the stronger claim that we can present against these arguments. It depends, because on the one hand you see many young activists and newcomers here, new people coming every week to Sheikh Jarrah. You have many educated Israelis who are fed up with the occupation. On the other hand, the official discourse, the official narrative is so bigoted and hypocritical and even infantile, about Israel being the eternal victim, even when Israel is committing an act of piracy on the high seas. That there are some very frustrating elements about the public discourse. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I don't think we have a choice. I mean, that Israeli policymakers are cynical people, brutal people. I mean, they only understand the language of force, and we're talking about a non-violence campaign. I wouldn't support a violence campaign. So I think that we don't have a choice, and it's in the best interest of Israeli society, because I mean, this is hell, and it's going to get worse. I mean, even people who are having a good life here, I mean, it's not going to work for a long time. I mean, they're sitting on a volcano. I hope that the pressure applied will be effective, that Israeli policymakers will realize that the occupation comes with a price tag, and we realize that they have no choice but to end the occupation. I also hope that this will serve in an indirect way as an incentive to Israeli peace groups to become more active, or to more Israelis to join peace activities, considering the alternative of BDS, which is, it's not the best thing. A change from within would be better. So perhaps this could serve as an incentive to Israelis.